which I'm going to do right now, but obviously reading this would be a 7 or 8 minute video on its own anyway, so I'll let you do that. So the next part of a quest that you have to do now is follow in the footsteps of these individual warlocks. Now, how do we do this, you may be questioning? Well, as a reward for the next quest, we get a journal from Jubeka Shadowbreaker, who's one of the original warlocks that joined, along with Canafrad and a few other flavoursome characters of lore note that you can read up on in your own time. But essentially, once you start this quest, you're given this journal, and if you read it, it will disclose information as to where these people went in Outland. So obviously this involves going to Outland. So off we go. So let's hop through the Dark Portal, and here we are into Hellfire Peninsula, our first destination for retracing one of these shadow shards, or whatever they're called, these crystals basically that foretell the memory of where these people have been in Outland, and we need to collect them all. So instead of showing you a vague interpretation of where they could be, I'll just show you a collage of exactly their location and a map view of that location as well. But first, before we do this, I'd just like to introduce you to the mechanic if you still wish to not cheat. Essentially, there's this hot-cold mechanic. If you get close to the target, i.e. the quest item, it will say hot, hotter, and on fire, essentially, meaning you're directly on target, and it should be below you. Or it could be really cold, in which case you're probably in the twisting nether and nowhere near the target. Anyway, so here we go. Here's the first crystal location in Hellfire Peninsula. This is located in the Fellfire Ravine, or whatever it's called, where all those demons are, which is one of the first quests that you do at Thrallmar. Just here will be the orb in the middle of all these imps. Obviously these are low-level mobs, so they're not going to pose any threat to you at all and won't even aggro. Now, next up we have the Neverstorm, which is a zone directly north of Hellfire, if you're not familiar with TBC content. And we're looking here for the next orb. Now, this orb does have an actual memory and an acted out little piece with text here, so I'm going to let you look at that. There is no voice acting, so there's no point giving you any audio there at all. But we're going to look at that now, and then we're going to move on to the next one, which will be in Blade's Edge Mountains.
Such strange creatures. Why do they remain so long after the Legion has left?
There's a slight flaw in that supposition.
Oh?
The observers were in the service of Illidan, not the Legion.
Well, he's gone too. So why are they still around?
How should I know?
Well, I've spent weeks trying to understand how to summon one of these things. If you know something I don't, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it with us lesser mortals.
What's the problem? You handled the binding of the Thalams and the Void Lords effortlessly.
They were trivial by comparison. These things are never in the same place. There's something strange about them, something out of place. Oh, dear.
So there we go. There's my filling Blizzard shoes for a few seconds, trying to do my best there. My really terrible impressions are probably not going to help this anyway, but I thought it'd be better than you just reading the text. Anyway, on to Blade's Edge Mountains, and the next location that we're looking for is actually here behind the mountain at this rather cool looking pentagram on the floor that you may be familiar with if you leveled here in BC. I seem to remember this place quite well. It was horrible, essentially, but yeah, here we go. Here's some more lore.
I tire of your evasive babble, Doomguard. Explain to me why you and your kind are drawn to sacrificial magics. My contract is to fight for you, not to reveal the Legion's secrets, mortal. Do not attempt to deceive me, demon. Your kind far predates Sargeras' betrayal. What were you?
This knowledge is useless. What are you trying to achieve, Canafrad?
Stay out of this. The demon will answer. Now. What an odd demand. Not even my own kind care of our origins. Why should you?
If you do not care, then there is no harm telling me.
Before Sargeras freed us, we were the Titans' hounds, forever enslaved to police the use of arcane. Sacrificial magic was considered the greatest violation of life, and we were attuned to instantly punish those who delved in such delicious sorcery. You have your petty secret, Califran. Now, I demand knowledge from you. Why do you care?
I don't believe that is part of our contract. We are done here. Rebecca, finish the ritual. Alright then, so the final stage and final fragment of these memories is actually at the Altar of Shadows in Shadowmoon Valley. This coincidentally is the same place that Gul'dan summoned the end of Draenor and the beginning of Outland. So here we are at the Altar of Shadows. The actual fragment is in the aisle here, very easy to find. And let's skip straight to the lore segment, and then we're going on to the actual meat and potatoes of the questline.
What is it that you wish to show me?
I've seen the fear in your eyes, Rebecca.
What? No, I have no idea.
Gul'dan destroyed this world in his bid for power. You're concerned I will do the same to Azeroth.
No. Stay back. You're dangerous. I remain content summoning demons. But you toy with becoming one yourself.
There are two sides to the Blade of Demonology. The threats that besiege us from the outside, and those that threaten us from within. I chose you as my companion for a reason.
And what depraved reason is that?
If I fail, I need you to banish me forever. So there we go, we hand this quest in now. We've completed the outdoor section of the Warlock questline. From now on we're going to be working within a scenario that was specially designed for this quest. So we are very lucky to have this just for Warlocks, and we're going to show you how to get through this as easily as possible. And this starts the next section of questline for the scenario, Seek the Signal, which involves us going to the front gates of the Black Temple instance and basically finding the way that Canathrad got into the Black Temple in the first place. There's supposed to be some runes, so if we head over there now and we go to the gates, not the old entrance, don't get confused there. The entrance is actually boarded up. I believe that's supposed to be like a signifier that you're not going in that way. But instead we go to the front gates and we see a rune here. Now this rune can be interacted with and will actually queue you for your own solo scenario where you must complete the scenario to basically get the green fire as a reward at the end. Now this is not exactly an easy quest line or easy scenario by any means, and I do actually admit I do not successfully complete this, but I will tell you how you can. So here we are. This is personally my favourite raid, aside from Ulduar, that has ever been in this game, and it brings shivers down my spine every time I walk into here through the sewer entrance. But here we are walking through the main gate, which I've never done before. Now essentially the various stages are fairly easy up until the two bosses that you'll be encountering in this instance. For the first stage, we're basically trying to get as far into the Black Temple as possible without getting seen. A lot of Akama's Ashtong Deathsworn people are here trying to clear up the instance, and we're technically not supposed to be here. Now the way this works is there's a red circle around the field of view of the patrolling guards, and we can actually attack a non-patrolling guard to basically cause a distraction, and the mob will go over there instead of come to us. Now if we do get seen, these mobs are extremely powerful and are obviously elite, so we're not going to have much chance against them. So obviously stealth is the key here. So we'll just attack one, acts as a distraction. There's about 4 or 5 of these up until the main gate where Supremus would be, just before the main entrance up here. and then there's a couple inside as well where we meet up with a Karma.
Foolish warlocks, I knew you would try again to ransack our temple. Wait, you're not one of the warlocks that snuck in here before. Why then are you here? Your name sounds familiar to me, Leonie. What do you want from the Black Temple? Stay a moment and speak with me, rather than skulk about like a rogue.
War Chief Garrosh seeks the Black Harvest members who trespassed here recently.
Leonie, you and your horde did much to aid my people in freeing the Black Temple of Illidan's grasp. I will help you as a show of my mutual trust and repayment of the debt that I owe you.
Akama, lead the way.
Follow me. They visited both the Shrine of Lost Souls and the Temple Summit. I have decided to trust this warlock for now. Let her move about the temple freely. It will take many years for us to undo the damage that Magtheridon, Illidan, and the Felorgs did to this holy place. Within lies the Shrine of Lost Souls. The souls of thousands of my fallen brethren remain within this area. Use caution. There are many traps still active within. Perhaps one of your demon spells will grant you the ability to scout ahead before advancing forward.
And of course, paying attention to what is said in these little speech bubbles is a fundamental key of succeeding in this entire scenario, pretty much. Now, Akama mentions there is a demon ability that you might try out. Maybe one of them will allow you to see things that you cannot ordinarily see. Now, let me just say, without this, it is extremely difficult, but Eye of Kilrog is possibly the coolest inclusion here, and maybe something you won't have thought of. So spoilers, but, well, there's not really many spoilers here, considering I'm showing you it in its entirety, but use your Eye of Kilrog and you will see these shadow traps. These shadow traps will basically, if you stand on them, summon very powerful elite versions of these ghosts, which will deck your face in. So obviously this is a great way of seeing what lies ahead. There is a path between them that you can only see whilst in this. So my advice is pop Eye of Kilrog, look where you're going ahead, cancel the buff, and then those last few seconds whilst before it dissipates, use that time to move between the slots. And then we go to where the Reliquary of Souls boss used to be, and this will be the first of 2 boss fights within this scenario, and it's no pushover, that's for sure.
This is amazing. An untapped store of raw arcane energy.
For years it has languished, slowly